You spend your whole life saving for retirement and then lose it all overnight. These 10 people thought they were set for life, until they weren't. And wait until you hear how a Florida couple lost $1.2 million to their trusted financial advisor, just months before retiring. How safe is your retirement plan? Welcome to the sobering reality of the retirement trap. This isn't just about market crashes. It's a minefield of mismanagement, insidious scams, false promises, and sometimes heartbreaking overconfidence. The numbers are staggering. According to the FBI, seniors lose over $3 billion annually to financial scams. And remember, that's only the crimes that get reported. Many suffer in silence, too ashamed or devastated to speak out. We're breaking down 10 real stories of retirement gone wrong. Our goal isn't to scare you. It's to arm you, to prepare you, to help you safeguard the future you've worked so hard to build. Understanding these pitfalls is the first step in avoiding them, ensuring your comprehensive retirement planning doesn't go disastrously off course. Our first story takes us to Chicago, Illinois in 2016, featuring Janice and Robert T. Both were dedicated retired teachers who had diligently saved throughout their careers, accumulating a nest egg of around $900,000. They envisioned a comfortable retirement filled with travel and time with their grandchildren, their financial future seemingly secure. Their dream turned into a nightmare when they encountered a company called Future Income Payments. This company, which presented itself as a legitimate investment opportunity, promised them an alluring 8% fixed return on their investment, a figure significantly higher than typical safe investments. Trusting the pitch, Janice and Robert invested a substantial portion of their savings. Unfortunately, Future Income Payments was a sophisticated Ponzi scheme. Instead of investing their clients' money, the operators used new investors' funds to pay returns to earlier ones, creating an illusion of profitability. By the time the scheme inevitably collapsed, Janice and Robert, along with thousands of other victims, lost nearly everything they had invested. Their hard-earned $900,000 vanished, leaving them in a dire financial situation. The key lesson here is a timeless one. If an investment opportunity sounds too good to be true, offering unusually high and guaranteed returns, it almost certainly is. Always approach such promises with extreme skepticism. Next, we travel to San Diego, California in 2019 to look at the case of Daniel P., a proud Navy veteran. After years of service, Daniel had carefully saved for his retirement, entrusting his individual retirement account, his IRA, to what he believed was a reputable professional investment firm. He planned to live off the steady growth of his portfolio, managed by an experienced financial advisor. Daniel believed his advisor was making prudent decisions aligned with his conservative risk tolerance, suitable for retirement. However, without Daniel's full informed consent or understanding, his financial advisor began misallocating significant portions of his assets into highly volatile and speculative biotech stocks. These stocks were known for their potential for high returns, but also for their equally high risk of substantial losses. Within a shocking 10-month period, Daniel watched in horror as his portfolio plummeted, losing 70% of its value. His retirement dreams were shattered by the reckless actions of an advisor he trusted. The crucial lesson from Daniel's ordeal is to actively monitor where your money is invested. Don't rely blindly on titles or the reputation of a firm. Demand transparency and understand every investment made on your behalf. Our third case brings us to Miami, Florida in 2013, and the unfortunate story of Susan M. Susan was approaching retirement and was looking for ways to supplement her income to live comfortably. She decided to rely on a reverse mortgage to fund her retirement years. She understood it as a way to access the equity in her home without having to make monthly mortgage payments, believing it would provide the financial cushion she needed. What went wrong was a critical misunderstanding of the complex terms and ongoing obligations associated with the reverse mortgage. Susan wasn't fully aware that she was still responsible for property taxes, homeowners insurance, and maintaining the home's condition. When she struggled to meet these obligations, she unknowingly violated the terms of her loan. As a result, her reverse mortgage went into default, and the lender initiated foreclosure proceedings. Tragically, Susan lost her home, the very asset she thought would secure her retirement. The key lesson from Susan's experience is stark. Reverse mortgages can be extremely dangerous financial products if not thoroughly understood. The complexities and potential pitfalls must be carefully evaluated, preferably with an independent financial counselor before committing. Let's travel back in time to the year 2021 and visit Cleveland, Ohio, where Harold J. was taken advantage of by a rising cryptocurrency swindle. With the intention of increasing the amount of money he had saved for retirement, he put $300,000 into a so-called Bitcoin pension fund, which was touted as a safe and high-yield investment choice for retirees. It was a con from the exit. Following the creation of a credible front, the con artists gathered significant investments and then disappeared in less than 6 months, taking Harold's money with them. Cryptocurrency may have a place in a diversified portfolio, but you should never gamble your most important retirement money on it. His loss serves as a cautionary tale. The presence of high profits that are assured in volatile markets is a key warning sign. The following anecdote comes from Austin, Texas in 2015, and it illustrates the peril of relying only on the pensions provided by one's employer. After working for the same company for more than 3 decades, Linda B. relied on her pension to provide for her. On the other hand, her payments were reduced after the company filed for bankruptcy. The PBGC provided just a limited level of security, and she was only given a small portion of what she had anticipated receiving. Her situation demonstrates that private pensions are not guaranteed in any way. Having multiple sources of income is absolutely necessary. In 2018, Bill and Kathy W., who reside in Scottsdale, Arizona, decided to fulfill their dream of retiring overseas. $450,000 was invested in a Belize development project that turned out to be a hoax. The company went out of business, there was no construction of homes, and they had no money left. Promises are meaningless in the absence of proof and legal protection, as demonstrated by their experience, which highlights the considerable dangers associated with investing in real estate overseas. Michael D., a resident of New York City, retired at the age of 60 in 2022, planning on relying solely on Social Security and part-time employment. However, inflation and the cost of medical care caused his plans to fail. In addition to his health problems, essentials were pricey, and his savings were quickly depleted. It is essential to have an emergency fund in order to be prepared for unexpected events, such as the rising cost of health care, inflation, and unexpected emergencies. A power of attorney was entrusted to Barbara H.'s nephew in the year 2020 in the city of Seattle. It was expected of him to handle her financial matters. However, he stole $200,000 over the course of 3 years. Only after her funds had been depleted did she become aware of it. When it comes to delegating financial authority, protections and oversight are very necessary. Even inside the family, financial control can be exploited. In the beginning of 2014, Jorge and Maria G. of Los Angeles retired. They treated retirement like a vacation because they did not have a budget, so they overspent on things like traveling and entertainment. In a span of 7 years, their money was almost completely depleted. The takeaway is that retirement is not a financial free-for-all. Rather, it is a time when one must create a budget, keep track of expenses, and plan for the long term. By the year 2017, Richard and Elaine C., who resided in Naples, Florida, had saved a total of $1.2 million and were getting near to retiring. They had their money invested in high-risk, unregulated ventures in order to receive concealed commissions, and their trusted, certified financial planner did this in secret. Their accounts were frozen by the Internal Revenue Service, which resulted in the loss of the majority of their money. When it comes to fraud, even licensed counselors can fail. Not only should you demand transparency and audits from third parties, but you also need to make sure you understand your investments. Upon closer inspection of these accounts, a number of recurring themes become apparent. Unquestioning faith in consultants, excessive dependence on a single source of income, underestimating the costs of healthcare, falling for scams, and a lack of careful planning. Keeping an eye out for warning signs such as promises of great returns, pressure to invest quickly, lack of transparency, advisors who do not have a fiduciary duty, and programs that disregard inflation or longevity is important. According to the words of a knowledgeable individual, the #1 retirement killer is not a horrible market, it's bad decisions. Is it possible to avoid falling into retirement traps? It is always a good idea to acquire a second perspective on financial plans, especially when it comes to investments that are novel. Ask challenging questions. Examine your portfolio on an annual basis. Under the guise of fiduciary duty, you should collaborate with certified financial planners and verify this. Consider purchasing insurance for long-term care. It is of the utmost importance to diversify financial sources. It is possible to create resilience by utilizing a combination of Social Security, retirement funds, Roth IRAs, and income from part-time or passive work. Planning is not a one-time event. Rather, it is a continuing process. Were you concerned that your plan for retirement might already be off track? These tales should serve as a wake-up call. Come to the fore immediately. We can all learn from each other if you like. Subscribe and share your own personal experiences.